Second behind the bar, Paul Star, brought to you by William Hill, the proud sponsor of the World Darts Championship. Last weekend, Michael Van Gerwen got back to winning ways with an 8-3 win against James Wade in the final of the Shanghai Darts Masters. The Challenge Tour headed off to Milton Keynes, and we saw wins there for Matt Paget, Rob Cross, Richie Burnett and Kelvin Hart. And of course, in a few weeks' time, all roads lead to Blackpool for the World Matchplay. And to help us try and find a little bit of punting value, we've been joined by no other than a Y501, Wayne Mardle. How are you doing, Wayne?
I'm good, Paul. You?
Oh, fantastic. I tell you what, exhibition in Swanage at the weekend, rolling back the year, superb standard.
But look, every dog has their day, and I was good. I was good for about 9 darts. It went down well.
No, it was great entertainment as always. Wayne, the World Matchplay is nearly upon us, of course, in Blackpool. As a tournament, do you look back on it with fond memories?
Believe it or not, it's still my favourite event. When we had the World Championships at the Circus Tavern, that was my favourite event. Yes, the Worlds is the biggest and best because it just means so much. But as tournaments go, from start to finish, I think most of the players just enjoy the venue. The Winter Gardens is amazing. Yeah, but also, it's the second biggest, isn't it? You've got the Worlds, then you've got the Match Play, along with the Premier League. You've got the Triple Crown there, but I love the heat. I love the heat of battle when you're on that stage at the Winter Gardens. It's brilliant venue and a brilliant tournament.
It is, and in standing room as well, which is always nice. You know, one or two, well, more than one or two at the back. You know, every time I've attended, I've got friends and that out there, and they're loving it. They can stand up if you love the dart sort of thing.
Yeah, it does. It matters because those that frequent the bar area quite a bit, shall we say, they can kind of have a bit of freedom, do what they like, and they're not encroaching on anyone's space. And the noise is the way it's created is because it's not a long venue; it's kind of wide, so everyone is kind of on top of you. And when it's full up on the balconies, tell you what, it's some venue to play well in. I've been fortunate enough to make a final there, so I know what it's like to play well, but I also know what it's like to play bad there, and it's horrible.
That's right, with the crowd right on top of you. Well, Michael Van Gerwen, of course, is reigning defended. He's 5-4. Then we've got 9-2 Taylor and 6-1 Gary. Of course, Gary and Phil are going to be in that half of the draw, the same half of the draw, assuming they get that far. And out of those three, where would your pound coin go if it was just those three at those odds?
Well, first off, I think Van Gerwen's too short at 5-4. I wouldn't have a penny on Gary at 6-1 because I've had my fingers burnt with Gary so often. I've always been one of those. I'm very critical of his game because he goes missing too often. But I always find myself backing him in private. It's like, right, Wayne, who do you want to win match play? The Worlds, the Grand Prix? I'll say someone, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm sure I've got 100 on Gary at 7s or 8s, whatever it be. I've backed him more than anyone, but I'm leaving him alone this time. Right. I'm leaving him alone for one reason. The man I fancy is too short, and that's Michael Van Gerwen. So I'll probably go for some kind of outsider just for a bit of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. We've got 80-14, Wright at 16, Wadey at 20, Chizzy 25, Barney 33s. But we were speaking the other evening, and you did mention about a certain Australian there, Simon Whitlock.
Yeah. I thought he was going to say Paul Nicholson there. No, not Paul, not Kyle Anderson, but yeah, Simon. He's too big a price. When you look at those ahead of him in the betting, and there's a lot of them, I'm sorry, no. He's still a very, very good, capable player. He lacks that little bit of composure that was used to be there. When you're winning, it's kind of simple. You see a double to win a match, and that's it. You just go for it. But Simon's having problems closing these legs and games out. And I just think that with the match play, with it being a long format, if he's going to win matches, he could be 3, 4, 5 legs in front. Look, I'm not saying he's an 125 to... He's not 125 to one shot for a reason. It's the fact that he's not closing these games, he's not getting in front. But I just think he's better than the odds suggest, and that's what punting is all about. Whilst I think Van Gerwen is the likely winner, he is too short for me. I think at the prices, I'd be backing Simon Whitlock, and I'll have a couple of quid each one, James Wade as well.
Yeah.
They're two that I think like the longer format.
Yeah, James knows how to win there, doesn't he? And the great thing is, it's the top 16 in the order of merit, drawn against the top 16, the next top in the Pro Tour order of merit. How good is that? Because that's obviously there's going to be some fantastic first round matches, aren't there? And to be honest, I mean, out of those 16 first round games, there's no way it's all the seeds going through, is it?
Well, no, I agree. I know we've got another weekend to go, so some of those positions, even 1 to 16 will change, and then 17 to 32 if you like.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said, it's a Pro Tour order of merit. There's positions that have got to be sorted out, but there are going to be some that will be thinking, do you know what, I wouldn't mind drawing him, I wouldn't mind drawing him. There are seeds in there that are so beatable, and I mean so beatable. Terry Jenkins showing hardly any form whatsoever. Vincent van der Voort is a brilliant player on his day, but a liability. There's others in there. Your Ian Whites. Look, not the player he was last year, but going to be difficult to beat. Robert Thornton absolutely despises the Winter Gardens. He's got a record that's nigh on as bad as Eric Bristow's, and Eric never won a game there in 6 attempts. Look, some of the people don't like playing there, but look, it's all on the day. Robert Thornton could turn up and average 110. But there's a couple of floaters that you don't want, and those players that are coming in to the tournament with form behind them, with a positive attitude, confidence, I wouldn't mind being on one of them, just to nick a first round, maybe at 7-2, 3-1. Who's to say?
Yeah, that's the sort of bet, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, Wayne, that's fantastic. Great insight to the World Matchplay. Was there one game that stood out for you on the stage at Winter Gardens that brings back memories?
Yeah, there was a few actually. There was one where I played Steve Hine in the first round. Remember the Muffin Man?
Yeah, I do.
He gave me a muffin to eat. And I'm thinking, hold on, look at the size of me. Do I need a chocolate chip muffin? No. So I remember taking it out the pack and booting it as hard as I could. It exploded everywhere. The integrity of it wasn't very good. I actually think it was poorly made, and apparently it was made by Steve. Anyway, for the duration of the first couple of legs, I kept looking down, and there was chocolate chips all over me trousers, all over me shirt, over me shoes. Yeah, that one stood out. Anyway, I won that game, so that was pleasant. But the one that stood out for me was I played Barney, I think, in the last 8 one year. I can't remember what year it was, 2007 or 8. And I kept saying to my family, Donna and my dad, saying, if I can get into him, I'll make him fold. Because he didn't like playing me, because I was a bit aggressive. Not in life, just on the board. And I kept needing a reason. And I couldn't get near him. Then the nearer I got, I was becoming a bit, how can I put it? I was antagonising him. I was a bit nasty to play on that particular day. And he folded. He was sweating. He kept re-gripping, and he was doing all this. And I'm thinking, gotcha, gotcha. I had him on that day, but James Wade the following day in the semi-finals, he absolutely reached me, took me to the cleaners. But I remember that game with Barney. That one of my highlights. That was the only one, basically.
Yeah. Well, no, great story there, Wayne. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Thank you so much for that. Saying a pleasure to see you at the weekend. And Donna, she looks younger every time I see her. I don't know what you're cooking up for tea, but there's something you're doing that you don't do the cooking though, Wayne, do you?
No, I don't see her a lot. That's probably why she's looking good.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much, mate, and we'll catch you soon.
Cheers, Paul. Take care.
Bye. Well, great to catch up with Hawaii 501 Wayne Mardle. There's 125 to 1, the big Aussie Simon Whitlock to land the World Matchplay. Well, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. Like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. And join us next week on more Behind the Bar, brought to you by William Hill, the proud sponsor of the World Darts Championship. We look forward to seeing you then.